Hey guys, and welcome to episode 71 of How I Made My First $1,000,000. Today we are looking at the numbers from August 1st, 2026, so let's dive in. We start as usual with the balance sheet, assets coming in at 156,000, down almost 3,000 from last month. Liabilities 22,000. They're down 2,000, so that's a good thing. Net worth 134, almost 135,000, down only about 700 bucks. So kind of flat, surprisingly flat from the previous month, especially considering that I have no income. So let's see what happened here. Cash about the same. Gold and silver relatively flat. Okay, here's what it is. So Bitcoin was up a little bit, so that boosted net worth by about 5 grand. And got a little bit of cash, 5 grand, 5 grand and change from my fiance towards the car, so that lowered uh, the vehicle asset as well as the accompanying liability. So let's take a look at that. There it is. So the vehicle loan, the portion that I'm responsible for, dropped. So there you go. That's the change. That's the balance sheet. Let's take a look at the pie chart. So yeah, Bitcoin about half of all assets, gold and silver almost a quarter, cash 6%, fine. Vehicle percentage is shrinking, which is nice. I don't like having such a high percentage tied up in a vehicle. My thought on that is like it should be the smallest percentage possible so you can still live your life. But that's okay. Happy wife, happy life, right? It was her choice, that car. Anyways, and all these others, as I've mentioned, if I could take them to zero, I would. I'm happy that they're only 2% each. I would love it if they shrink. Okay, and then the overall chart here, yeah, 135, 134. I mean, this is obviously going to continue to fall as I have no income, but who knows? Who knows what the future has in store? Speaking of income, let's look at the income statement. So the only revenue here is from withdrawing cash from Kiva, fine. And then expenses. Is there anything worth saying? Oh, I figured out what this food and beverage thing was. I got a new credit card, whatever month that was. And so so these documents are on a cash basis. So since I put a bunch of food on a credit card, they didn't get reflected this month. They rolled over to the next month. So now food is going to be like 1 month delayed. Anyways, not that big a deal. Transportation, yeah, this is a positive number because of that 5 grand and change. Nothing else worth commenting on. Just a normal month. I'm still spending, basically 8 grand a month. And I could probably cut little things here or there, but how much could I really cut, honestly? 500 bucks? Maybe 1,000? I mean, I'm not going to, not have a house. Anyways, I don't know. It'd be better to just find income. All right, cash flows. Yeah, big operating cash outflow. Yeah, so about 8 grand in purchases and then 5 grand coming back in. Yep, so that's like normal. And financing, 600 bucks from Kiva, nothing special. Okay, not much else to say there. All right, let's do the updates. So I am still looking for the next project I can contribute to, such as a job. There's so many things that I could do. It's hard to pick what I want to do. Like, I keep thinking I know what I want to do, and this is kind of how I've lived my life for, I mean, I wouldn't say all of the 37 years, but I don't know, most of them. And that's kind of the big fallacy of the human condition, is listening too strongly to the ego and feeding the ego and saying, I think I know what will make me happy, and then doing that thing. And sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. And I'm very attracted to the idea of surrendering, right? A la Mickey Stinger, the surrender experiment, where you don't listen to that voice in your head, or you let the voice come in and then you let it go out, and you don't attach to it, don't respond to it, and you just focus on what's in front of you. What is the universe putting on your plate, and you surrender to it. And so I've been trying to do that on and off for years. Like anything you practice, you have good days and bad days. So that's what I'm thinking about. You know, I have all kinds of ideas of what I think will make me happy. The last 5 jobs I've had were all, I think I'll be happy if I do that job. To an extent, that's true, and then to an extent, it's not true. So that's like any job. So there you go. All right, next, I'm running 7 times a week. So after last video, when I mentioned the baseline week, specifically the 5K, and how slow I was thinking, what can I do to improve that? And I also happened to read, the book. What's Cam Hanes' book? He's got 2. Oh man, I'm blanking on the name. I could look it up real quick. It's not Undeniable. It's his other one. My gosh, what? I have to look this up. I'm sorry. It's. No, it's not Undeniable. I'm doing it. Endure. That was it. Okay, so anyways, in that book, he's got run, lift, shoot. That's kind of his thing every day, where he runs. I think he runs like 20 miles a day. It's crazy. He lifts weights at some point in the day, and he shoots a bow and arrow. And he also works a full-time job and has a family. So that's his thing, and he's got a podcast. So he's busy. He's doing that all the time. And I was thinking, like, if he can run 20 miles a day and then go live life, I can certainly just run 1 mile in the morning and then still do the rest of my life without changing anything. And I also like that it's only, if you're running like an 8-minute mile, that's an 8-minute workout. That's not a long time. So yeah, maybe you stretch or warm up or cool down, but it's not that much time. So I started doing that. I've been doing it maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Every day, rain or shine, basically like 6 a.m. It's going well. I'm getting a lot faster. I feel more athletic. It's awesome. I think it's translating into success in other areas. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep doing that until further notice. I almost forgot. I attended the Rick Rule Investment Symposium July 6th to 10th in Boca. That was awesome. That was surprisingly great. So I went there with no real agenda. I just felt like I should be there. And there were so many people who recognized me from the GoldSilver YouTube channel and said nice things. So it was really wonderful to meet so many amazing people. Just the love and support was very special. So, if I didn't go, I wouldn't have felt it. So it just feels so obvious to me to go to these things in person and, meet the people on the other side of the screen. So otherwise I don't get to meet you guys. So that was amazing. And I got a chance to talk to a few people about, why I left GoldSilver and what might be next. So I really don't know what's next for me. Yeah, I don't know. And I asked a few people, like, where do you see me? Like, and they gave some helpful answers. So I guess that's all I'll say for now. Relationship with self. Yeah, I guess really the only thing I want to comment on in this category is I feel like I'm losing touch with myself, which is a strange feeling. So it's partly linked to what I said at the beginning of the updates, where if you attach too much to the ego and respond to it and its requests of you and its way of guiding you, you can build a very strong self-concept, but ironically, the stronger it gets, the more resistance, or the more what's the word? Challenge or stress, like the universe can throw at you. The more it can break you down, the more you build up a sense of who you are, the more you can be destroyed and humbled and shattered, that kind of thing. So that, I'm not saying that as a reason not to do it. I guess the reason I bring it up is when you're aware of it, or at least in the experience I'm having of like an awareness of this, I realize that it's it's a choice available to me. It's an option to let go of any of the self-concepts that I've developed. So where I've gotten to at this point in my life, thinking, oh, I'm this kind of a person, I'm not this other kind of person. These are my strengths, these are my gifts, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I have this awareness, like I could change any of that. How true is it? I don't know. But it feels like I can change any of that if I want to. It's a strange place to be in. So that's kind of what I mean when I say I feel like I'm losing touch with myself. This notion, this like sense of self feels ephemeral. It feels like it's like ego death. It's like I can let a part of it die, or a large part, and it feels like a choice, and it feels like that choice that I make in this current phase of life will affect where I go next, for better or worse. Okay, finally, how am I thinking? How am I feeling? What am I doing? Well, that was a piece of it. I still think about staying healthy as the number one goal. I think about this all the time. And especially in summer, I realize like just how much I love being healthy, using the body, thinking about the body, going outside, running, jumping, throwing, catching, shooting, playing. I don't know if it's the weather or what. I think it is. But in summer, I just absolutely love doing that stuff. And it's the thing I think about all the time. It's like, how can I spend more time outside? How can I play more games, like, softball or disc golf or golf or whatever, with other people, all that kind of stuff. So I really enjoy it. I think about it constantly. I'm also feeling the pressure of running out of cash soon. Maybe about 2 months. I don't really know what to do about that. Like, the obvious thing is get a job. So maybe that's what I'll end up doing. I mean, probably. not a lot of alternatives. Well, aside from, starting your own company or some version of that, entrepreneurship just in general, however you want to categorize it. And given that I've never done that on such a short timeline, 2 months, it feels extremely daunting to try. It feels, because I've tried to do it on like a 2-year basis, like let me build something and try to sell it and take a long time doing it, and with no success. And it's like, well, to try to do it in 2 months when I've never done it in any amount of time, it just feels like too big of a leap right now. Maybe it's in my head, maybe it's a real thing. It's like trying to run a 5K in 20 minutes when you're stuck around 27 minutes. It's like, it's a big jump. Anyways, I don't know who I am anymore. It feels like I can completely reinvent myself. So that's what I said a moment ago, but it comes with a whole cocktail of emotions. It's daunting, it's empowering, it's humbling, it's invigorating, it's it's a cool feeling. So just sitting with it for now. So since I feel stuck, I don't know what my next moves are in life. I'm not trying to figure it out. This is coming from the documentary Stutz, which I haven't seen in a while, but I really, really like it. So he mentioned in it, when you feel stuck, don't try to figure it out. You'll never figure it out. Just focus on your life force. So that's what I'm doing. So that's your relationship with your body, relationship with others, relationship with self. And that's why those are the categories that I break these updates into. That's why I've been doing it for so long. And as I mentioned, I spend a lot of time on body. I think it's seasonal. And relationship with others, I just go long periods of time without interacting with other people, even in summer. And relationship with self, like I said, I feel like I'm losing touch with myself. It's very strange. So anyways, I'm trying to surrender in the style of Mickey Singer, like surrender to the universe, surrender to the flow of life, surrender to God, you might say. But I genuinely don't know what shape that takes. Like, I don't always know what that means in any given moment. So I'm trying. And if I want something to change, and maybe I don't, maybe my life is great the way it is. Like, I actually love so much about my life. But if I do want something to change, then some part of my mindset needs to change. And again, I don't know what it is, but that's where I'm at. So there you go. That's what I've got for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next month.